Hello, everybody. This is Jorge Buero, Director of Operations of Alt Health. Welcome once again to another Tuesday Champions meeting. It is a pleasure to be here, and thank you so much for joining us. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you very much for your time. Today, I have a very special presentation because I wanted to introduce you to the latest book that I'm reading. Okay, but first, a little bit of context. Alt Health is launching its new influencer campaign, reaching out to every single influencer and professional of the alternative health and wellness space. We are looking to have you join our community, bring your education, bring your knowledge, bring your experience, bring your solutions, and be part of our family. And we would like to offer you tools to make your influencer career, more noticeable as well as more profitable. So considering that and the campaign that we got going on, I thought of introducing you a few items that I believe could actually help you be a better influencer. Okay. Now, let's get cracking. Influencers. Okay. The latest book that I'm currently reading is about how to use the 7 principles of influence in order to achieve more conversions. Okay. Now, let me introduce you to this book. This is a book that forever changed advertising. Okay. It's written by Robert Cialdini, and it's all about the psychology of persuasion. If you are an influencer and you haven't read it, you should go get it. Okay. I'm currently reading it, and I think that there is valuable information in there, and that I think that it's very easy to extrapolate the information and put it to good use if you are an influencer. Now, today we will be talking about Robert Cialdini's principles of persuasion. Okay. Now, when you're talking about influence, okay, how to actually exert influence over somebody else, you gotta be looking at these 7 items: reciprocity, commitment, social proof, authority, liking, scarcity, and unity. All right. Now, let's start first with reciprocity. Reciprocity, people dislike feeling in debt. Okay. Now, this is something that you as an influencer, you got to use to your favor. And you'll find that this concept is used a lot by charity organizations. Now, they often utilize this principle of persuasion of giving a little bit something to get something in return. So if you're an influencer, you got to think, what am I giving to you so you can feel in debt of doing something for me? Sometimes it's education, sometimes it's experience, sometimes it's, I don't know, you can donate your time to somebody else to listen, you know. It's you got to think about what are you given that will provoke that feeling on somebody else to give back. So, reciprocity. Let's start thinking about that. The second, commitment. People require consistency. Okay. Now, it works like this: a prospect signs up for your, for example, newsletter, whatever it is. Now, they are committed to your newsletters and they need to remain consistent. Okay. And next, they might consume whatever product that you could be advertising or promoting there. But you got to be consistent, at chasing that consistency, if you know what I mean. You got to be able to hook them up with information, with education, and it's got to be in a very organized, structured manner with time, You always have to be the same format. You got to be very, very well structured. So people feel accustomed to you, to your brand, to your information, and later on, that feeling of familiarity will turn into an action that could be actually, a purchase, whatever it is, from a like to a subscription to acquiring something that you are actually promoting. Next, social proof. Now, it doesn't have to be logos or star ratings, that they work on the same way. A product with thousands of glowing reviews will not necessarily be bursting with social proof. But for example, if you got a mention by a very well known magazine, or if you got a mention by an expert in your field, that is the type of social proof that you can capitalize on. And most influencers, they need to be looking for that. So, what makes you an expert? Why should I listen to you? And people normally will actually look who believes that whatever this guy or girl is saying is actually true. And if I respect that person, then I will immediately start believing that what you're saying is true. So, how can you achieve social proof? Most people will go to something as banal as likes. Okay. Oh, okay. So this guy's got 1 million likes in this video. So that means that a lot of people believe that it's good. So, as an end to that mean, I will believe it as well. Okay. But others will be a little bit more, more into the detail. So you will actually have to look for experts in your field that will authenticate what you're saying. Next, authority. People trust authority. Now, here is a very interesting comment I gotta say. I am a very avid LinkedIn user. I love LinkedIn. That's where I live. Okay. Now, a survey has actually proved that most CEOs, okay, CFOs, COOs, executives, mentors, coaches, okay, that will put as the banner of their profile page them speaking in public increase exponentially the level of trust that they promote on people who are looking at their profiles for the first time. Now, if you want to think about it, go through LinkedIn and you'll find that some of the most relevant executives, some of the most relevant business people in the world are actually turning to put them speaking in public in their banners or profile pictures, because that means that they have a level of authority. That means that people actually listen to what they got to say. Okay. And that is something that you want as an influencer. So you got to look for that position of authority, that position where, people actually believe in what I'm saying, and so should you. Okay. So authority, that's another point of influence that you need to work on. Liking, people prefer similarities. Okay. Now, people are more likely to comply with requests made by somebody they like. That's why they ask close friends rather than acquaintances to help move. Okay. It's also by mentions from social influencers and celebrities, endorsement work. Well, they normally will certainly act upon an advice from somebody they like. So this is why huge brands they turn into celebrities in like other influencers, or let's say this kind of people with a lot of like social acceptance. to be the ambassadors of their brands. Because if Leonardo DiCaprio asks you to buy a tech hero, probably you'll do it. Okay, if you're a fan. So there's like, and every brand's got a special somebody, that actually fits that target, that audience. Okay. So you got to think who people like. And I know my brand, I know my profile, I know who I am. Okay. I can prospect myself. So where do I fit in all this? All right. Because you'll know you're an influencer. So you'll know whether if it's fitness, whether if it's, mind health, whether if it's nutrition, whatever it is, you know where your market is and you know who your audience is. So you got to capitalize on that, on the fact that people will actually listen to what you got to say because they like you. Okay. Last, well, not last, but one of the last, scarcity. Okay. When people believe something is in short supply, they want it more. That is a law. Now, short supply signals demand. That's why smart marketers and influencers use scarcity on landing pages. Well, you've seen this technique many times. Like, for example, Harry, there's only two. Or that's a prime example. Or, up in urgency, like act now, the offer ends at midnight and stuff like that. So, how can you apply scarcity in what you do, right? That will also trigger an action. And last, unity. Humans are social, and we need to be part of a group. We need to be part of a community, a family. The unity principle, okay, it's something that it's desired and it's shared as an identity by a lot of influencers. A lot of influencers, they make their own communities. They kind of like build up their own huge communities among them, and they bring a family. And companies are starting to use this to
Unity.
build better and bigger customer engagement. You know, it's all about how can we actually relate to people? How can we make our customers our family? You as an influencer, you can do it as well. You just got to look at those trigger points in the people who are actually following you. Make them connect with you, make them part of your circle. And that circle will grow and grow and grow exponentially because your followers will start evangelizing about what you got to say with others, and others will begin to follow you. Okay. So, how to use Cialdini's influence principles in alt health to create a sustainable income stream, which is supported by our call selling and my shop technology. That is something that is coming up next Tuesday on the 23rd of January. So you cannot miss that presentation. I'll show you exactly how Alt Health and Alt Health's technology and solutions can actually make you a better influencer and have
Um,
you the environment and the possibility of capitalizing on everything you do. Okay. So that is something that you gotta be present at and you gotta be, attentive of that video. Once again, if you want to know what a my shop is, what cost selling is in Alt Health, what Alt Health is, I'll be leaving the links down below on the comments of the YouTube box. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Just write me at jorge@althealth.me. It's been a pleasure to give you this presentation, and I look forward to speaking to you again next Tuesday. Thank you.
well, thank